that break. Glad you're still watching Science Breakfast with me, Alan HERBERT. And the sign language interpreter this morning is Esther Kendi. And these are the stories that are making headlines in the country. And I want to start it off with Azimio leader Raila Odinga has launched an online portal for signature collection in the opposition's quest to delegitimize the Kenya Kwanza government. Here is a full report on the story.
The process we are engaging in is about the deliberate policy decisions by the Kenya Kwanza regime to make life unbearable to a great majority of Kenyans, despite the consistent appeal by Kenyans for the regime to take actions to lessen their burden. The digital platform we have unveiled today is complementary to all other efforts and platforms, including civil disobedience, tax boycotts, and defiance that are meant to compel the regime to repeal the Finance Act 2023 and take deliberate steps to lower the cost of living. Just go to www.tumechoka.com and you will be able to access it. We are aware that Kenya Kwanza has questioned where we will take the signatures and the legality of the exercise. We don't expect them to understand. They don't understand the people's power as at now, but with the time, they will do. We will not take it to the Kenya Kwanza IBC or their compromised parliament. Take this early opportunity to thank the 1.2 million people who have signed so far. We appeal to more people to come out and append their signatures to this historic undertaking.
We want to ask you to cease waging warfare against your people when they exercise their constitutional rights.
And they are the ones pushing for the collapse of Jubilee as one of the parties that is targeted within Azimio fraternity, and it is a clear indication of their desire to kill multipartyism in this country.
Hiyo sisi tumesema tunataka IBC ambaye sisi wenyewe tumeshirika kukuweka. La sivyo sisi tutaunda IBC yetu.
Kila Mkenya tujipange, tuende kazini. Kila mtu na hasoli yake. Ile ingine tunapanga ili tuhakikisha kwamba Kenya inaenda mbele. It is not right for a few people to think that they can disorganize the country. Walifanya maandamano Ijumaa. Wakenya 6 wakapoteza maisha yao. Mnataka maandamano mengine ifanyike tena kesho ati Wakenya wengine wapoteze maisha yao? No, it will not happen.
Wewe ukienda kutoa fujo kesho utakamatwa. Wakamatwa wasikamatwe, wapelekwe kotini, kwa sababu rais wetu, serikali yako hawezi kubalia mtu yeyote atoke kwake akuje kuchafua amani.
Tuungane tuwe kitu kimoja bila hata kujali wewe kama ni Azimio ama ni KK. Kila mtu anaumia, sio? Na tunaambia hata polisi wetu wao wenyewe wanaumia. Kwa hivyo wasije wanatupatupa tear gas ovyo ovyo.
Kisha Zakayo ashuke chini. Tulimpatia notisi ashuke akakataa. Wakati wa kumshukisha kama wananchi umefika.
Lakini kwa sababu wabunge wamekuwa malaya, wananunuliwa kule, wanapiga kura kinyume na matakwa ya wananchi. Wananchi sasa wanachukua mamlaka mkononi mwao, sio sawa?
From that, give Kenyans a break. President Ruto warns Azimio over planned protests. Now, President William Ruto has cautioned the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition over the planned demonstration set for Wednesday, reiterating that the government will not condone any form of violent protests like previously witnessed. Speaking during the issuance of title deeds in Ruai, Embakasi East constituency on Tuesday, Ruto assured Kenyans that his administration would protect all citizens and that Wednesday will be a normal working day despite the planned protests. And President Ruto added it is not right for a few people to think they can disorganize the republic to sabotage and cause mayhem and destruction of property. There is no type of politics that leads to loss of lives. That is anarchy, and we will not allow it. I will not allow any other Kenyan to lose their life.
Walifanya maandamano Ijumaa, Wakenya 6 wakapoteza maisha yao. Mnataka maandamano mengine ifanyike tena kesho ati Wakenya wengine wapoteze maisha yao? No, it will not happen.
Wewe ukienda kutoa fujo kesho utakamatwa. Wakamatwa wasikamatwe, wapelekwe kotini, kwa sababu rais wetu, serikali yako hawezi kubalia mtu yeyote atoke kwake akuje kuchafua amani.
Tulimaliza mambo ya uchaguzi, si ndio? Kwani walikuwa wageni? Si walikuwa Kenya hii wakati tulikuwa tunaendesha uchaguzi? Si uchaguzi iliisha? Kama wanataka uchaguzi ngine wangoje, kuna timetable ya uchaguzi. Saa hii ni nafasi ya kufanya kazi. Kila Mkenya tujipange, tuende kazini. Kila mtu na hasoli yake. Ile ingine tunapanga ili tuhakikisha kwamba Kenya inaenda mbele. It is not right for a few people to think that they can disorganize the country.
And Interior CS falls past court verdicts on Mackenzie. Now, Interior CS Kithure Kindiki has listed a series of lapses that he says led to the Shakahola massacre. The CS told the Senate ad hoc committee investigating the Shakahola deaths that officers from the National Police, the Office of Public Prosecutions, and the Judiciary failed to act in the timely and appropriate manner in handling the Paul Mackenzie arrests and prosecution, resulting in hundreds of deaths in the forest.
No one will be forgiven for trying to weaken the potential of the prosecution winning this case. I have said, and I have made the ODPP, because this matter, unlike all other matters, this is a national security matter. I have told the ODPP, we must win this case. We can't lose. The first arrest has aborted because of a plea bargain, and then the court orders good behavior. There is no good behavior. He continues to do the same things. He's brought to court 6 months later, charged with a number of offenses under the Education Act. So it is okay. The decision to charge him with terrorism-related offenses like radicalization was good, but it had no effect. The courts released the fellow, despite the fact that he's being charged under terrorism. And maybe we can excuse. I don't see the basis why, in the first instance, where a fellow who was indoctrinating children entered into a plea bargain, simply because we can't ask the prosecution questions because they're independent, and then the judge sets them free to cause more danger and harm to the society. So I hope you talk to the judiciary, because we have issues there, and we would want to respect them as our anchors of legalism and constitutionalism. But there are some we need to engage with them. And every time, people say, "Oh, don't touch the men of God, don't touch, I don't know, the churches." Those people who are doing those things are criminals, and there's no difference between them and the Al-Shabaab who are killing our people, or the bandits who are killing our people. We will treat them as such. We'll make new policy and regulatory framework to make it impossible for criminals to use the religious base.
And away from that, now to government suspends retesting for drivers after a threat to strike. The government has suspended the mandatory requirements for all commercial and public service vehicle drivers to undergo a driving retest before renewal of their licenses. The requirement for a retest announced by the National Transport and Safety Authority had prompted drivers in the country to declare nationwide strike on on Wednesday. However, in a statement issued on Tuesday, Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen announced the suspension of the regulations, noting that a multi-agency team would be established to look into the concerns raised by the drivers. Murkomen said following a meeting with transport stakeholders on Tuesday, an agreement had been reached to form a multi-agency committee that will have 14 days to address the issues raised before submitting a report. Now, in the meantime, the retesting of drivers remains suspended up until September 1st, 2023. On their part, the drivers claim that the new NTSA rules requiring them to undergo a new test for driving is discriminatory. Here are drivers expressing their views and concerns.
Kwa upande yetu kama Matatu Owners Association hatuna mgomo. Sisi ni wenye biashara na hatuwezi tukaingilia kwa mambo ile hatuwezi kuelewa kwa sababu hatujaielewa vizuri.
Kaongeza fare ambayo itaweza kusustain gari barabarani na iweze na isikue inamuumiza kabisa mwananchi wa kawaida.
What we're trying to do is just to create an equilibrium where everyone can just do business and create employment. Otherwise, if we don't do that, then we all go home.
Isi time ya kuambiwa tubadilishe driving license ama tubadilishe badge. Kwa sababu maisha already ni ngumu.
Ni kitu gani hiyo tumekosa leo katika hali ya udereva yenye nafanya sasa turudi kwa test? Aya, number 2 nikuulize. Mbona imekuwa ni watu wa transport wa masafa marefu lori na matatu ndio narudi kwa test? Kwa nini sio personal?
We've had discussions since yesterday and today and we have come to an agreement.
Kwa sasa mimi ningeweza kusema ya kwamba matako yetu yamesikizwa. Na madereva wa PSV, madereva wa HCV, wale wanaendesha malori na wote tunaweza rudi kazini kwa sababu tumeweza kusikizwa na kupatiwa muda wa majadiliano ili pia yale ambayo hayajakuwa yamekamilishwa yaweze kukamilishwa kwa muda wa mwezi mmoja.
And from the transport providers, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're coming back with story.